Welcome back to Little Talk. Little Talks.
Little Talks.
Little Talks. Multiple
We're
Talks.
doing this for a year, Rube. It's plural.
I can't remember what happened yesterday. Welcome to Little Talks. Today's February 1st, 2023. I am Rube.
February 1st. Sam is in the house. Sam is physically in the office. Thank God.
Yeah, we've had some bad weather the last few days. Or we've had some... it's not good weather. I
wouldn't call it, yeah.
It was a little slick coming out of the neighborhood this morning.
It was, but once you hit the main roads, it's fine. So for those that are not in Tulsa, I think for most of our Oklahoma and Kansas folks, there's been some ice down here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it like Ice-Mageddon. I don't think it's that bad.
No, but it was a sleeting ice, then some little bit of snow, then some ice on top of that. So it was legit.
Well, and as a lot of you know, we have a lot of parents and obviously kiddos here at the agency.
And old men.
And old men that have just enjoyed the last Monday, Tuesday working from home, I'm sure. Mr. Nike over here has a really cool Nike sweatshirt for those watching the video. But I digress. And, it has been work from home with children under the age of 2 at the Littlefield house.
I will say,
a pregnant wife who wasn't feeling great, and so it was just.
Did Tara go in, or did she close the practice?
She closed yesterday, and then she wasn't feeling super great in the afternoon. So anyway, it's I've had some weird working hours the last couple of days, but it's nice to be back.
I was going to say, I was talking to Chelsea about this yesterday. We had a phone call, old school, not a Zoom or anything. Oh. She goes, "Can you call my phone?" I was like, I guess that seems weird, but I did. We were talking about this, during the pandemic when we were all working remotely. At first, there was kind of an excitement, and let's all do this. But now, when we have to work remotely, which we did for the last couple of days, it was not as fun.
No, it's not.
And we were like, we need people in person. We want to be there. I will say, I did get a lot done. I'd get to the end of the day, and it's one of those right back during the pandemic times. I would hit 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and be like, my work day's over. I need to go make dinner and do other stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I need to be with my family.
So I was working on, but I was realizing at the end of the day, I'd sit there and think, I actually got a lot done today.
Oh my gosh!
So it was productive it's just I prefer to be in the office.
I am very jealous because I did not have much productivity, but I got my work. I got what I needed to get done, and I was going to lose it. But thank God, daycare did a late start day at 9 o'clock.
We're running a little later on the podcast.
It's a little
TPS Tulsa Public is closed today.
Most of the private schools are closed. But anyway, we're
back.
We move on.
We made
on
it.
Monday, it was, by the way, here, we're going to do a little
Should we do it now?
Cheers.
All right.
As you can see, we've got some orange juice, maybe a splash of champagne. And Rube goes, I was like, yeah, man, this is for Brenda's 30th birthday was on Monday. Happy birthday
to
Brenda. And take a sip.
And we have to take a sip, yeah. So Brenda's birthday was Monday.
So Rube was like, oh, is that why we have mimosas? I just thought we had mimosas, which, by the way, is not normal.
Well, I don't know about that. Frequently, I will walk in and there will be something Sarah has made. There were brownies in there as well.
Yeah,
I guess also for her birthday.
Brownies look really good.
I had a smidge of
So Brenda's, this is cool. It's her golden birthday. She turned 30 on January 30th, and she called it her boot, scoot, and boogie into 30.
Brenda's from Deep, Texas, by the way.
Down in Austin. And anyway, happy birthday, Brenda. It's nice to celebrate you today at the agency. And on that note of birthdays.
Yeah, and on the birthday note, today's February 1st. Tomorrow is February 2nd. It's Groundhog Day. But my whole life, Groundhog Day has actually been known as Sam Roop, my father's birthday.
What a guy.
Sam Roop's birthday. I'm not going to say how old he's turning because I'd have to check. I stopped counting for him a while back. I hope people do that for me. But my dad is celebrating his birthday tomorrow on Groundhog Day, and he gets the joke every year, even from me. Did you see your shadow today? And he's always a good sport about it. So happy birthday, Dad. Love you, and I'll see you. I think we're getting together next weekend.
I love that. And on February 1st, which is today, it is Kate Littlefield's 30th birthday.
What?
Yeah, I texted her this morning, and it just hit me. I didn't have it on the script here. But anyway, my little sister Kate turns 30 today, the old dirty 30. So happy birthday to my little sister, and cheers to all the birthdays,
wow,
man.
That may be the most birthdays
3 for 3.
Goodness gracious.
Holy cow. Okay, that's delicious.
There's definitely more than orange juice in there.
There is a hint of something. Okay, we have Super Bowl Sunday coming up, Rube.
Yeah.
We do our annual Super Bowl squares here at the agency.
The teams are locked in.
We've got the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Who's your bet?
I'm going to root for the Chiefs.
Okay.
I like Mahomes, great. I love that guy. And they're local. I like the Chiefs, of course.
Sure.
But, dude, the Eagles are tough. So if I were actually putting money on, and I don't usually bet on sports events like this other than squares, but I would probably bet on the Eagles.
Man, that is.
But root for the Chiefs. Does that make sense?
No, that's fair. What's your score?
It's going to be high. I'm going to say 42-35.
Whoa, okay. He is going high. All right.
Which is
with
kind
the
of,
Eagles winning as your prediction?
Yeah, but
Okay.
the thing is, I always think these are going to be high. The Super Bowl, they always play so conservative.
For sure. I mean,
so I don't know what the over-under will be, but these are teams that score points.
So I'm going to go I'm rooting for the Chiefs, and I think the Chiefs are going to win. I think they've got a lot of good things going for them, even with some of the injuries they've been plagued with. And I'm going to go Chiefs 27-24.
That's a pretty good one. And didn't they barely win?
Dude, yeah. Oh my gosh, last second field
goal, and Mahomes' ankles bummed.
No,
and all that. They're hobbling in, but I'll be rooting for them.
We'll see. They'll be here before we know it. Actually, this is cool. Sean Hubbard from Ditch Witch last night.
Let's drink to the Chiefs.
I'll drink to the Chiefs. Sean Hubbard was up in Lawrence, Kansas, watching the KU K-State basketball game. He was hooked up with some really cool tickets, second row.
Nice.
And literally one seat in front of him and one seat to the right was the one and only Travis Kelce. Literally just chilling.
Man, that
got a full standing ovation from the arena, and I was like, "Yeah, that's pretty cool."
That guy has won me some fantasy football games. I'm a fan of his.
Yeah, no, he said he's a beast. He said he's not as tall as you think he is because
for a tight end. Yeah, I would assume he's kind of a big guy.
Yeah, he said only 6'6". But he said then again he's comparing him to a bunch of Jayhawk players that are 6'9" and above.
Everything is relative, right?
So,
everything's relative.
Anyway, we'll see, but we'll dive into some digital trends. We got a busy day ahead, so we're gonna make this short and concise. But
we'll
we're
get
gonna
right
take
to
the
it.
first topic.
Okay, so you guessed it. By the way, today's February 1st. You should probably, as we're recording this, be getting the email.
Yes, for our digital trends email.
If you don't, let us know. And also, if you want the email, you can sign up and subscribe to that at the website, littlefieldagency.com. But anyhow, little bits. That's the companion discussion
little
topic
bits leads
email
to little talks.
article
so
thing
our
we
first
do.
Little bit.
So this, last month we really led with a lot. There was a lot of Twitter kind of catch up with the Elon Musk purchase and kind of troubles at Twitter, and there are some of those in this month as well. But really, I mean, the game this month is ChatGPT and the AI, which we spent the last two podcasts talking about. Today we're only going to kind of talk about it a little bit in terms of an update, but we're going to talk about it a lot probably this year.
Is ChatGPT like the equivalent of what we talked about with TikTok last year? You know what I mean?
It's heading that way.
Yeah.
Wow, how are we going to work those two together? Well, we'll work on that. That's
sure
someone's on that.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I think we mentioned this a week or so ago. Google got everyone together in a room at the Google offices, and the employees were concerned that their bosses did not have a strategy to answer ChatGPT. ChatGPT, pretty easily you can see how it would replace a search engine, and even make it better.
Oh my goodness!
Not just show you what you're looking for, but give you a lot more context and kind of thought around it. So anyhow, the employees got together with it. They requested a meeting apparently, and the high ups were like, hey man, this is not vetted out. We have a brand to protect. We're on it, but
we got money to make. Yeah,
don't worry about it. That was their point 2 weeks ago. Well, flash forward, I think 3 days, and they're trying to build their own rival ChatGPT chatbot. The race for AI dominance is on, it reads. Google is apparently feeling the heat from the sudden interest in AI-enabled chatbot systems. And according to a recent report from the New York Times, that's a reputable rag, Google has earmarked plans to demonstrate a version of its search engine with chatbot features this year. And it says they've got 20 other AI-powered projects. One other note on this, which you and I were talking about very briefly this morning.
Yeah, please.
There's been a ton of tech layoffs lately. HubSpot, our beloved HubSpot, laid off 500 people yesterday. Yeah,
not our boy.
No, I don't think so. I haven't heard, but I don't think so.
Probably checking with Kyle.
I need to check on Kyle. HubSpot laid off, Google laid off, Amazon.
Yep, all of them.
All of them. And this Forbes article was kind of looking at this and saying, well, what's going on here? Why is tech laying all these folks off? Because I think everyone's first reaction would be, oh, it's the economy. But is it really? And as it turns out, a lot of these layoffs are because they had overhired during the pandemic, which makes sense.
Check.
A third of them are HR people, which makes sense when you've overhired.
Yep.
And the number one reason, according to the Forbes article, that as they were kind of looking at all these layoffs and things going on with these companies, were most of them are trying to scrap together money to either buy into ChatGPT or build their own version, which Google's doing here. So ChatGPT wasn't replacing anyone's job. That's not what they were doing. They were needing money to invest in a technology like this. That's how disruptive it is. So a lot of the layoffs you're hearing about are people trying to, or companies trying to, thin down after what they went through during the pandemic, coupled with answering the ChatGPT question of how do we, because we don't need to build the ChatGPT at Littlefield Agency. We just need to know how to use it, which we do, and we're getting better at. But if you're Google, you need to have some sort of answer to this. You're a technology company, one of the technology leaders of the world, and this is a big deal.
Well, and here's it. Like, I put my
switch into coffee for a second.
Yeah, right. I put my C-suite hat on, and I'm a Google exec. I appreciate the employees' points of view of, hey, we got to combat this or figure this out.
Yeah.
Surely, there's some pretty smart cooks in that kitchen.
You would hope.
And like the fact that they are already announcing this, like I don't know if they just put a bunch of engineers in a room and boom, it's just been an absolute wild time.
Yeah.
Given that they've got 20 other AI-powered projects, surely they've been working on
something along these lines
for quite longer than
the thing that's
months.
The thing that people forget about Google that Rocco and I used to talk about this a lot. They have a lot more failed projects than they have successes.
A lot of those guys do.
They used to be really kind of the king of throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what would stick. And I suspect we're about to go through a version of that with whatever they come up with their AI answer. So we're going to see all kinds of stuff. It says at least 20, probably more than that. But all these projects coming out of Google this year centered around ChatGPT or AI or whatever they end up calling theirs. Some of them will probably be pretty good and useful, and most of them will probably fail.
And we may never they may never see the light of day.
Some we may never see the light of day. But like Google's pretty good at this. And the last time they did this, that everyone will remember this because I talked about it all the time 7 years ago. When social media became a big deal, Google said, hey, man, that's a pretty good idea. You can learn about users by the things they tell you on their social channels. We need a social channel. So Facebook was exploding, and they said, well, we got it. We're going to call it Google Plus. And they rolled it out so fast and so thin that it sucked, and nobody wanted to adopt it. It got better as time went on. I actually preferred it as a social channel for quite a while based on features and stuff, but no one was there. No one adapted it. So that's kind of what I hope they're trying to do now is not just throw something out, but really make sure it's baked. And I think that they have a good shot at it. Like they're not going to. I don't know what they're going to do, but anyhow, Google's one to watch here because they're wild, man. They'll do.
Totally.
They do all kinds of crazy stuff.
I mean, the R&D alone. I mean, they've got something cooking, and it's just a matter of.
You're right.
How they roll this out.
There has to have been a department already on it, and then this happened, and they're like, "How fast can you get
you think about the guys at Apple? I mean, so the next iPhone is released in September. They've got 20 different iPhones for 20 years from now that will obviously adapt. Like they're just always working through things, learning things,
and those guys got capital.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. So, anyway, stay tuned. This is going to be just. Really fascinating how this plays out. I will give a shout out to Regent Bank. Brandon Gaffney commented on our LinkedIn post, saying how he's using ChatGPT for his brand, and I appreciated the thoughts there, Brandon. And it's he actually did something similar to what you'd done recently in the sense of a content outline.
Yeah, and
like looking at the structure of the site, et cetera. It's smart. It's a sounding board.
This morning, one of our designers, Natasha, was asking me about a color I had mentioned, electric blue. and it wasn't the right blue. She kept showing me blues. Like this isn't it. This isn't
too electric.
Not electric enough. And she said, "Well, can we ask the robot?" I said, "Sure." So we asked ChatGPT, "Show me a really cool electric blue that's not too plain." And then we had to refine it a couple times, and it gave us an answer that she's working on right now. So it's pretty good when you're like needing a. See how that's like kind of different than Google?
Oh yeah.
Like I didn't have to go searching through results.
No, for
was like, no, here's what you want.
Yes. No. That's a great example.
It was really good. If you guys are using ChatGPT out there in your daily life or attempting to or trying to come up with applications for it, we would love to hear what those are, and we will 100% give you a shout out on the podcast for letting us know. Yeah.
So transitioning into topic number 2 here, LinkedIn. Okay, we're gonna switch gears.
Old LinkedIn
to 900 million members.
900 million members?
It continues to see record levels of engagement. So here's the interesting thing: record levels, right?
Yeah.
I want to put that in quotations.
Yeah, there's.
And this is in-app engagement in the most recent quarter. The platform has reported 18% growth in total user sessions, and that's according to the latest data. So here's the thing, right? Those are impressive numbers.
Microsoft owns them.
Yep.
Let's say that up front.
We're trying to, again, the whole point of this podcast is just we're always, wow, you're ahead of me, aren't you? Rupe's pointing to his mimosa glass.
I started earlier.
And but we're trying to keep an eye out on all platforms, the latest and greatest, and even those that have been around a little bit longer. And again, how are you as a B2B brand using LinkedIn? We think of it primarily as a massive thought leadership opportunity, showing, hey, we're a smart brand.
And networking opportunity for your sales
networking opportunities.
folks.
Hey, obviously hiring. I mean, I feel like recruitment and hiring, I just feel like I would love to see the metrics of these 900 million users.
Well, if you want to read the article, because it's probably in your inbox when we get out of here.
Yep.
There is some kind of interesting kind of shade to this that the article points out, and Microsoft
shade isn't shady.
Shady, a little, just shy of shady. They
just shy of shady.
They're kind of like not baking the numbers, but they kind of, like we all would do, they kind of present them in the best possible light. The last time I checked, LinkedIn had, I think, 400 million users, so they've more than doubled. Okay. But, I think what they're going by is active users in a 45-day period. They're extending the metric so that it sounds better. I'm not going to poo-poo on LinkedIn like I used to. I told Sam,
I'm proud of you, by the way.
This is the year of LinkedIn for Roop. I'm trying to embrace it and really find better ways to leverage and use it for us and for, the brands we work with. It has its place. But 900 million is kind of impressive because that knocks them out of this kind of Pinterest, Twitter level into closer to the billion, the billion club.
Big deal. The big billion.
They're getting there. But anyhow, you got to kind of take some of it with a grain of salt. They're kind of crazy. Read the article, you'll see. It's too complicated and boring a math to get into in a podcast. But
well, and I'd like to provide one more tip in the sense of LinkedIn. It is great for brands to be constantly active.
You need to be there,
of course. We've also taken, I don't even want to call it an influencer approach, but an individual approach, right? If you are Sam from Littlefield Agency, I'm sharing Littlefield Agency's post. That's great for reach and engagement and impressions. But, what are your thoughts, right? Like, people want to hear from subject matter experts.
Yeah.
Let's take Ditch Witch or Grasshopper, for example, right? Ditch Witch posts something that's great, but if it is a specific product manager from Ditch Witch and his point of view on the article that is related to that line of equipment, that's interesting.
Yeah. HubSpot does this really well, I've noticed. They're really good they're good at a lot of things.
They're really good.
But they have personalities that kind of represent different areas of their business. One guy's name's Kyle. I forget his last name. Not
our Kyle?
Different Kyle. And I think his name's Kyle. And I saw him at the thing I went to, the Inbound, and he was like a celebrity there. But I started following him on LinkedIn too, and he's announcing product and feature releases before they come out. It's just him.
He does a little demo.
Yeah, I mean, he does a lot of kind of cool stuff like that. And so I think when people follow a person and not the brand page, if they're following the CEO of a business or the president of a business or the R&D VP of a business, it's because they want some inside info. They want to know what's the real dirt, what's going on. So, and that doesn't have to be bad stuff. For HubSpot, it's exciting. Like, oh my gosh, this feature sounds great. When do I get it? Now they've got me calling my rep and saying, hey, I just saw this thing on LinkedIn.
Kyle's post. Yep.
Right, that's how it works. So it's engagement on a more meaningful level for a business if you have meaningful things to share there.
I love that. I love it. Okay.
That's why I'm at in February. We'll see at the end of the year.
It's going to fly now. Now that we're in February, the year truly flies. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, here we go.
We're going to snap it at summer. So, anywho, that is all we have for today. As Roop alluded to, you will get our Little Bits email if you haven't already. Be on the lookout for that. We'll have this right up. We will go live later today.
Yep.
And happy February. Wow.
Yeah.
January seems slow, but it kind of went by fast. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think it was the slowest month I've ever.
Yeah, no, it always is for me. But then, I'm like, holy cow! I feel like we just came back from the new year, so I don't know.
In my head, I'm always like, wow, 2 weeks ago was my son's birthday, and then when I hit his birthday, I was like, man, just 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago was Christmas, and so I have this constant thing. Just a couple weeks ago was a big thing.
I think you just described life.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, well, for those in the Midwest, stay warm. Nice thing is there's some 60-degree weather headed at least to Tulsa.
I saw that
this weekend. Thank goodness. I'm ready for some sunshine.
Well, we're gonna get it.
For those that are not in the Midwest, you probably need to stay warm as well.
Yeah,
unless you're on the coast.
Stay warm, stay dry.
Yes, for sure. We will see you. Cheers, and catch you next week.
Adios.
Bye-bye.